Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Joe's Metal Man Cave. Today we're going to do a collection update, much like the last one, and probably the next couple videos are going to be collection updates, and the reason for that is I'm basically trying to get caught up in all the stuff that I bought the past several months. You know, a big thing that when I started this vlog, I wanted to always make sure that I actually listen to these albums several times before talking about them, because I see it too much where people are like, well, I got this new album but I haven't listened to it yet, but it's great. Like, why even talk about it then? Like, listen to the album, like that's why you bought it, right? So yeah, next couple of videos are going to be just collection updates, and basically I'm not going to buy anything for a couple of months, and that's another reason why, is because me and my wife have some construction on the house, and part of that cost is now on my credit card, so now it's staring at me, and I don't like being in debt too much, so gotta be realistic about things and just take a break from the buying for a while. But don't worry, I have lots of interesting ideas to get us through the rest of the year, and so on until I pay all that stuff off and I'm able to frivolously spend my money on black metal CDs and what have you again. Right then, so to kick things off, we're going to talk about an album I got back in probably late July through a trade with a buddy, and the album in question here is Dödfödd and their album, or their demo, which is called Demo 10. And I know what you're thinking, this is their 10th demo, right? No, it's the 4th demo. So maybe it was released in 2010. No, it was released in 2012. So why is it called Demo 10? I don't know. Do you know? Well, Dödfödd, or however you want to pronounce it, Dödfödd, I don't know, it's Swedish, is a very peculiar band. They have this history of starting all the way back in 2001, and apparently in the earlier days they were more, you know, themed on Satan, darkness, and you know, feelings, emotions, that kind of shit. And apparently at some point in time, the main guy in the band, he wasn't down with Satan anymore, and he decided to become a born-again Christian, or Catholic, or something. And yeah, so the music eventually went in a much different direction. I guess nowadays they're more of a dark ambient experimental project, but on this earlier affair, this is some very gloomy and very fucking dark sounding black metal. I guess what I like about this is that it's not immediately like obvious like who influenced this. Like, yeah, sure, you could say it sounds like old Bethlehem or early Shining or Silencer, I guess, but no, it's not immediately, it doesn't necessarily sound like those bands. It basically sounds like sort of a raw black metal band kind of put through a very gloomy, but not necessarily doomy filter, I guess. It's very dark, very melancholy sounding, and I had to wait a while to really dig into this. I mean, like I said, I got it back in July, but you know, July isn't really like gloom weather music. Now it's autumn and it's gloom season, baby. So I listened to this earlier today and it really resonated with me, but this is some really dark stuff, very dark, sometimes slow and doomy, but other times just, you know, more raw black metal pace, but very, very good. And for a demo, it's above average, I'd say. It's also like, I think 45, 50 minutes long, so you get your money's worth with this one for sure. Curiously, it was originally released on vinyl, but again, it's just a demo, so I don't know. It's a lot of weird stuff around this project, but definitely really digging it, man. I mean, now that we're you know, colder time of the year and everything, and I guess the band was something of a one-man project or something. I don't know. Like I said, it's very peculiar. Not a whole lot's known about it, but the version I have here is, of course, not the original. It's the Darker Than Black reissue, which is possibly not authorized by the band, seems to be what's at least indicated on Metal Archives. But definitely if you're into some very gloomy, very dark, but not like DSBM necessarily black metal. No, this is much more much more truly black metal. I mean, I think I've said this before, but I really hate the ESPN, but this isn't quite in that category, definitely not. So I guess just like as I said, raw black metal, but with put through a very melancholy and very emotional filter, and definitely one that was perfect for today when it was rainy and really cold, and just felt really lonely today too. So yeah, perfect. Dödfödd. Alright, continuing on, we're going to talk about Satanic Warmaster and their album Revelation of the Night. So Revelation of the Night gathers together two separate releases, one known as Revelation and the other one of the Night. Both of these releases were originally released on vinyl and are probably very limited and hard to get nowadays. So back in, I believe, 2008, Tour de Garde re-released both those as this compilation on cassette tape, but that too was pretty limited, something only like 500 copies. And then 2018, Satanic Werewolf's own label, Werewolf Records, re-released this on CD to make it, once again, more widely available. And that, I have to say, is awesome, because even though it is just 2 EPs, it's got about the length of a full-length album, and the material is very, very strong. The two recordings go back from 2004 and 2007, and it kind of, shows that more earlier, much more raw, and not as clean sounding, not really as melodic sounding, Satanic Warmaster style. Much more similar to the first two albums, but just awesome. I mean, awesome raw black metal here, man. I mean, you guys know I love Finnish black metal, and for some reasons I don't understand myself, I've been kind of sitting on Satanic Warmaster all these years, so I'm finally getting my shit together and getting more of his stuff in my collection. And the actually great thing about Satanic Warmaster is that it's not on Spotify or any of the streaming services. I don't know if he's banned because of some of his sketchy beliefs, but it's not there, and that's a good thing. And you know why? Because I slowly get to buy all these releases and discover them, and hopefully, really enjoy them. And that's a special thing. It's this feeling I miss with basically all music, because it used to be a thing back in the day where, like, if I heard an artist, and even if I heard the artist originally, via a file sharing program or YouTube, I would still slowly buy the stuff to really get into it. But then nowadays, especially what I'm doing for a living, being a delivery driver, all I'm doing is just listening to music all day on YouTube or Spotify. That's what I do, because there's no fucking CD players or any radio at all in these trucks that I drive. So I have no choice, It's either that or silence. I'm sure I'm not gonna do silence for 8 or 9 hours. Fuck that. So yeah, but this is really good. It's just classic Satanic Warmaster through and through, and it's fucking love it, man. The only real exclusive track here is an intro, which is, a pretty typical black metal intro, but I dig, yeah, man. Otherwise, it's all just, old stuff that was on vinyl and obviously tape before this too, but fucking great, man. I keep getting more Satanic Warmaster, and I keep absolutely loving it. Just great stuff, man. Yeah, this is the reissue, as I already said, on Werewolf Records from 2018. If I can get the fucking booklet, I'd show you the rest. There he is, doing, as you do in the forest late at night, lyrics, something there. Then back cover, which is the original, I don't know what that was from. I think that was original from the Of the Night EP. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to look it up again. I'm always ill-prepared for these videos, or somewhat ill-prepared. But anyway, Satanic Warmaster, Revelation of the Night. Alright, to continue on, we're going to talk about an album that has been on my want list, my to buy list, since it came out in 2007. And the album in question here is the 4-way split with Abigor, Nightbringer, Thy Darkened Shade, and Mortuous. You guys have heard me talk about Abigor quite a bit on this channel. Their early work, specifically the stuff from the 90s, from 94 to 98, is some of my all-time favorite black metal. But then some of the other stuff from the late 90s is pretty fucking questionable. And then when they made their comeback after the temporary split in 2006, they definitely went in a more experimental direction, but definitely up the ante on their satanic beliefs, and the lyrics became a lot more complex, while the music itself became much more avant-garde and complex and just generally weird sounding. So a lot of the newer Abigor albums haven't really resonated with me. In fact, I only have one of them. I've heard the other. I mean, I've heard them all, but I just haven't bought them. I don't know if I will, because they haven't really resonated with me. But nevertheless, I wanted to hear this because I thought it was just you know, a cool way to hear just, you know, a single Abigor song. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, I'm glad I got this because it's a really good fucking album. It's about it's a little over 42 minutes long, and what's really cool about it is that although it's just one song from each band, each song bleeds into the other one almost as if it was just one long 42-minute song. It's really cool how they did it, actually. So Abigor's song is very much in that much more experimental and diverse and almost progressive black metal weirdo style they've been doing. I don't know. I don't know how. It's all over the place. There's clean singing, there's black metal singing, there's weird shit going on, but the lyrics are very, you know, occult and sound very deep and personal, so it's interesting reading the lyrics and following the song, but the song itself is kinda, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, I guess, considering I already knew what I was kind of going into, but I'm definitely still a bigger fan of Abigor's 90s output than I am their newer stuff, but it's not bad. It's really weird. But then you get into the Nightbringer song, and fucking A, man. Nightbringer is, I mean, I've known about Nightbringer for a couple of years now. I've listened to all their stuff, and the newer stuff in particular is really fucking good. And the thing I really like about Nightbringer is they're one of those black metal bands that truly sound frightening. Like, there's something about these guys. They really raise the fucking hairs in the back of my neck or whatever, and really creepy stuff. It's brutal, it's dark as fuck, and it's just, I mean, they're, for a band from the USA especially, because, let's just face it, most US black metal's not really good. So, considering they're from the USA and they take their satanic beliefs so deep and personal and, right, just complex and brutal music, it's, fuck yeah, man. So yeah, a really great Nightbringer track, and again, I don't know why I haven't actually bought any of their individual albums yet, because the ones I've heard are all really, really good. And their song here is definitely the best song on this split. Then you get into Thy Darkened Shade, who are from Greece, and they too kind of offer a very occulty and somewhat modern-sounding black metal piece. It's not bad, it's not great either though, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I love the way it bleeds in, you know, again, together with the Nightbringer song. But yeah, cool band. I think I really need to investigate them a little bit deeper, but they're definitely a very occult band, and that's actually what brought this group together here. You know, they all shared a very, I guess, similar, you know, occult and satanic beliefs or whatever. I don't know. I don't really understand all of it myself, but yeah. And then you get into the Mortuous track, which is a Swedish project. These guys are worshippers of death and the death of everything, basically. Very, I don't know what is it nihilistic? Is it hateful? I don't know. They worship death, but it definitely reflects in their music too. Very dark and aggressive stuff, and just very, very ominous sound. Yeah, I dig Mortuous. I was listening to them actually a couple days at work, just kind of get myself familiar with some of their other stuff, and they're definitely a band I need to get some of their albums on, because it's really fucking good, man. So yeah, there's the front cover. The back cover, you have the band's logos and lyrics in this digipack. Yeah, man. Very cool. Definitely, you know, like I said, the Abigor track is very experimental and weird as it goes with newer Abigor songs, but the rest of the stuff is very dark, very evil-sounding black metal, which I definitely dig, even though I don't believe in 95% of the shit that they're talking about in these songs, but still, really, you know, if you're listening to a song and those fucking hairs in your arms start standing up, man, you know you found something you love, so hell yeah, man. Alright guys, one more for this collection update, and this one's very special to me. It's Vordven's Woodland Passage EP from 2001. So, a little history. Vordven formed in the mid-90s, I believe in 1995. They had a demo in the late 90s, and then they had their debut album, Towards the Frozen Stream, in '99 on No Colors Records. This is an underrated masterpiece right here. Absolutely unbelievably a great album, as well as the Woodland Passage here. But what really makes Vordven interesting is that they're sort of a mid-paced, I guess, symphonic fantasy black metal band. The lyrics are centered around Tolkien and other fantasy themes, and I know what you're thinking. Well, typical shit, right? Yeah, even in the 90s, but I've never heard a band that sounds exactly like Vordven. They had a very unique atmosphere that I've only actually discovered in a few other bands, and curiously enough, they're also Finnish. So, yeah, it's been all these years. I mean, I came across this band like, oh god, I think 21 years ago at least. I used to look at blackmetal.com a lot back then. They used to be a really good website for black metal. Their distro back then. Later on, they became a label and released some very questionable material. But back in the early 2000s, blackmetal.com had a lot of great stuff in stock, man. That's how I came across this band, and they had MP3 samples, and yeah, I meant to buy the Woodland Passage EP back then, but I went with the full album instead, and then just, time passes, you kind of sort of forget about things, or you just, you keep buying other new shit or whatever. And then in 2003, this compilation came out, which had Vordven's demo, the Towards the Frozen Stream album, and most of the Woodland Passage EP. Yeah, most. Two of the kind of dungeon synthy instrumental songs were omitted from this because it wouldn't have fit on the 75-minute time limit, which is peculiar. You'd think they would have put on a second CD or something, but they didn't. So I was happy because I had the metal songs from this, but it always kind of bothered me that I didn't have the full EP. Then maybe like 10 years ago I started looking up this EP, and it was pretty expensive on eBay and all that, even like 10 years ago. But since I've been using Discogs, I've been keeping tabs on it, just waiting for someone to put up a cheaper copy of it. And although it's only 19 minutes of music, I ended up paying $25 for this, plus like $5 or $6 for shipping from France, I believe it was. But no fucking regrets. I absolutely love this EP. It's so good. And in particular, the song Cold Pagan Steel, which you hear playing in the background, is absolutely one of my all-time favorite black metal songs. I mean, I'm talking like top 10 here for sure, man. I mean, this is right in there with all the Norwegian and Swedish black metal I love. It's awesome. Very unique atmosphere. Really beautiful, ethereal synths, and just, I don't know. I love it. It's a great song, and the whole EP is fantastic. So, there's the front cover, which is just a very typical horror shot. A little bit of the band there. Take a look at the booklets. So yeah, Vordven, after they released this EP in 2001, their website remained online for a couple of years after. I remember I always checked in, hoping to see an update saying a new album was covered or coming, and then just it never happened. And I guess the band didn't so much as break up as they just kind of faded away. Interestingly, only two of the members went on to other things. The bass player went on to a project called Impious Havoc, I think it's called, and then another member whose name is Mika Pakalin, he went into a industrial band called Scorn Grain, which is not good at all. But later on, he played with Horna, and he's nowadays got a death metal band and another black metal band, which he's doing solo, called Cryptomach, which I've heard a little bit of, and it sounds fucking awesome. I really want to get my hands on it. It sounds just great. But if you've never heard Vordven, look it up. I think you'll like it. I mean, this gets my highest recommendation. Both the full-length album and Woodland Passage are awesome, especially if you like very fantasy-themed and ethereal, but mid-paced, sort of rawish black metal. It's fantastic stuff. Absolutely my favorite band to ever come out of Finland. So yeah, Vordven. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out this episode of Joe's Metal Mancave. 4 really great albums, well worth looking up. Obviously the Vordven is the favorite amongst those bunch, but all of it's really good stuff, and I hope you, if you do check it out, that you end up enjoying it. But anyway, thank you so much to everyone that's been subscribing and leaving comments. It means a lot to me. Definitely more than I could ever, express in video or, commenting back to you or whatever. You know, since the get-go, the whole point of doing this has been to, you know, engage with other people that like this kind of music, because in my real life, there's not really a lot of people I know that are into it, so it's cool that I can do this on, you know, a semi-regular basis and kind of nerd out with you guys or get recommendations from you guys on this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, guys. Everyone was checking it out, so I'll see you next time. My name is Joe. Joe's Metal Mancave. All right, I'm out. Have a good night.